This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
The Panthers are going, no, we can't trade them. They're foundational pieces. We need to build everything around them. Even though we're rebuilding our rebuild, as you mentioned before, Nick Federa.
Nick Morgeson.
Zach Wilson, I don't think he's got a future with the Jets at the quarterback position. You need a quarterback that throws the freaking football 40 to 50 yards when you need that jolt.
And Nick Federa.
Can't partially knock a building down. Either knock the motherfucker down like a Jenga tower, or go the fuck home. At this point, what is the fucking point of all this?
Empty the Bench starts now.
Broncos country, let's ride. I have to start the episode with this. So, the Broncos won a game. I don't care. You use Broncos country, let's ride. Therefore, I must do this.
Welcome to episode 159 of Empty the Bench. Tom Albano, Nick Federa. I'm Nick Morgeson. Follow us on social media at ETB Sports across all social media platforms. YouTube.com/ETB Network for across the Empty the Bench podcast network. And make sure you hit the big red subscribe button. And there you go. So
gentlemen, I want to start this episode by just talking to the audience for a little bit. All right. So obviously the last few weeks we have stretched into the 2 to 2.5 hour mark for our episodes. We want to try to avoid that this week. However, as a result of that, we have some stories that we have needed to cut. We will not be talking about Tom Brady and Giselle finalizing their divorce.
Congratulations, dickweeds!
Brady's gone through enough. He doesn't need to hear from us anymore. At least on the non-football field side of things. But we have made a very controversial decision. We are not going to talk about the World Series this week.
bummer.
So it was 1-1 heading into today. Game 3 is being played as we're recording this. Obviously, we have some headlines about Martin Maldonado using those bats that were deemed illegal because he debuted in 2011, and the bats were basically anybody who played from 2010 and before could use, like Pujols, who gifted it to Maldonado, and just all this weird petty stuff. Valdez, the pitcher, being accused of having some substance on him, even though he was checked multiple times. Yeah.
Shocker! Wait a minute, you're saying there could be cheating?
There's gambling in this illegal gambling establishment?
Lance McCullers getting lit up, supposedly tipping his off-speed pitches here in game number 3, again, as we're recording. And, guys, even on the non-World Series end, the Manfred Man might be coming back.
Look. Which just goes to prove my theory that there is no positive news coming out of the MLB that Rob Manfred will not insert himself into and piss all over on.
Wait a minute, you mean, what's that dumb saying that all press is good press? Not in this case!
If it's Rob Manfred, it turns from good press to bad press.
No, when it's Rob Manfred, it's always bad press.
No. He's saying that whenever you have a story and Rob Manfred is involved, it suddenly turns into a negative story. It could be about how somebody from the world of baseball found a cure to cancer, and Rob Manfred, at the minute his name is mentioned,
the conversation turns to how much is that going to cost me?
He's the fictional black cloud that rains on everybody's parade.
Oh, not fictional. That's pretty literal at this point.
I mean, but you know what? Hopefully we could try to get through this episode in peace. Oh, wait, sorry, we can't do that.
Yeah, so... Okay, so let me explain. So we had to cut the World Series because we were going to talk World Series. We had the deadline and, of course, our rapid rundown and everything. However, the Brooklyn Nets and the NBA decided, no, we can't have nice things. We will talk about Josh Primo in a little bit, but... Of course, we have to deal with the news that has developed over the last 24 to 36 hours. And we can't even talk about Kyrie just yet because the Brooklyn Nets have agreed to part ways with their head coach, Steve Nash, after only 7 or 8 games. And it appears that Ime Udoka, who was suspended prior to this season because of his inappropriate messaging to female front office members, just female members of the Boston Celtics in general.
Inappropriate relationship, too.
The inappropriate relationship, yeah. But actually, there's now the development that apparently he also sent inappropriate messages to female members of the team. I can't confirm or deny this, but I saw a little thing there. There was a little rumor going around. But he's going to be the next head coach. Now, I believe the Nets are going to honor the suspension, the 1-year suspension the Celtics gave him, which means that the assistant coach, you said his name before, Nick.
Jacques Vaughn.
Jacques Vaughn is going to be the interim head coach for the remaining 70-plus games of the Nets season.
All I'm going to say is, first,
let the Nick Morgeson show begin.
I can't even talk. My point is, I was filling in on Game On, and this news decides to break right before we start that show. We have to flip everything upside down, which we're kind of used to on this show because this show gets flipped on its ass every other week. And we find out, oh, good, Steve Nash has been fired by the Nets, and Jacques Vaughn, the head assistant, is going to take over. And my favorite term is mutually parted ways.
Yeah, so what was originally reported as fired, and then a minute or two later said mutually parted ways.
Yeah, because legally they have to be careful what words they say because they could get sued.
See, this is normally a point where in any other franchises you would hit the self-destruct button. It gives you 30 seconds to evacuate the building before the core melts down and the ship basically explodes into a million pieces.
Self-destruct button.
However,
self-destruct button. They hit that 10 times over already.
But the thing hasn't blown up because honestly, I think they're trying to fix the ship as it's crashing into the ground. Because
no, it's Nick, it's already crashed. I said this, and people get mad at me, but you can go back to our past episodes to last season. What did I say? He should have never been the coach in the first place. He never coached in high school. He never coached at the college level. He never was a coach.
But like I said to you in pre-show meetings, though, I mean, take somebody. I know different sport, but take somebody like Aaron Boone, who did not coach on any.
Baseball is different.
Baseball is different, and it's kind of sad that there's also a big Yankee thing. Us being big Yankees fans, that in the middle of the World Series, like we're basically at the halfway point right now. We're slowly approaching the days of exclusivity negotiations with some departing free agents, aka Aaron Judge, and the Yankees don't have a general manager yet.
At this point, I mean, at least it's not like Giancarlo Stanton is somehow getting into Nazi paraphernalia, because that's pretty.
Well, you're jumping ahead.
We're gonna get to.
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
I don't know if I wanted to look forward to that part of the story.
Well, 1 second. We're jumping ahead. So Steve Nash gets fired. The Twitter universe. It's scary that we have to say Twitter universe before TV and news sources in today's time now. But Twitter explodes. Steve Nash sends out a tweet, which, by the way, was the fakest PR statement I've ever seen in my life.
I have it right here. It's loading up for me. You want me to read it?
I have it also in front of me.
Oh, okay.
So he writes, "Thank you, Brooklyn. A very heartfelt thanks to Joe and Clara Tsai, along with Sean Marks, for giving me the opportunity to coach the Brooklyn Nets. It was an amazing experience with many challenges that I'm incredibly grateful for." By the way, you could tell right then and there that's a fake PR statement. Now, it was a pleasure to work with the players, performance team, and front office every day. I'm especially grateful to my coaching staff and video room, who are a talented group with so much character and professionalism. Lastly, thanks to Brooklyn and passionate fans who support this team. Family first, and my family has found a home here and loves being a part of this beautiful community. I wish the Nets all the success in the world, and the Nashes will be rooting for our team as they turn this season around.
If I'm going to be honest with you, it really does seem like this is a tacit admission by Joe Tsai and the Sean Marks that, Yeah, we probably shouldn't have hired you in the first place.
They should have never have hired him in the first place. He doesn't have any coaching experience.
No, you know what this should be? This should be an admission on their part of, yeah, maybe we should have just honored the trade request for Kevin Durant during the summer.
But honestly, I mean, Ime Udoka, I mean, I'm pretty sure this move...
How do you go from one PR nightmare to another? I'm sorry to interrupt there.
I'm pretty sure this move was to keep Kevin Durant happy.
No, first of all, they needed a coach, and they're panicking, and they say, "Oh well, let's go grab the guy who cheats on people." And I don't mean on the court; I mean off the court.
They didn't even let the controversy Udoka was in die down.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the '98 Bulls, but every single person involved is Dennis Rodman.
But I just don't get it. I'm doing the show with Johnny, and all of a sudden, I see Woj break that tweet that says that Ime Udoka is finalizing a contract. Who the head coach of the Nets? And I'm like, what the fuck? Did I enter Wayne's World? Did I enter like hell or Wayne's World where things are backwards?
I mean, I can't make sense of this deal either. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that's maybe what Kevin Durant wanted, because
no,
I guarantee you they had to talk to him about.
No, first of all,
well, let me ask Nick Morganson. Where is Kevin Durant in all of this? I know we're going to get to Kyrie and Tsai in just a little bit, but where is Kevin Durant in all of this?
I don't know where Kevin Durant is at this point.
How do you think all of this is affecting him? Especially because Kevin Durant, I make mention, a special mention of him with this part of the story of the Nets, because it was Kevin Durant's idea to bring in Steve Nash. Now,
shit.
Albeit this is the what we talk about with LeBron and stuff, that LeBron really runs the team, even though there's a head coach. Kevin Durant really ran the team, even though Steve Nash was there.
First of all, Kevin Durant doesn't know how to be a leader, so I don't trust Kevin Durant to run any team. I don't trust Kevin Durant to go run my shopping list at the supermarket.
The ironic thing is he's the most normal one out of all of them.
I don't know if I agree with that.
He's the only one not involved in the controversy, albeit he had his controversy over the summer.
What are you talking about? The whole summer was a controversy.
I said albeit the controversy over the summer, but currently speaking.
And here's the other thing people still don't understand, and I have to explain it a billion times, okay? People think it's easy just to trade Kevin Durant and go get whatever you want. You have to match the salaries. I don't know how many freaking times I have to say that.
Because it was reported, I think, that they already went to the Celtics asking for Jaylen Brown, right?
They asked teams for a lot of people. They went to the Suns and they asked for oh my god, why am I forgetting the guy's name who dated the Kardashian?
Paul Booker.
Booker. That's it. They wanted Booker, but they couldn't trade for Booker because Booker just signed an extension that summer. So it didn't matter.
It seems like the team is kind of in an identity crisis because
I mean, here's the thing. It's only been 7 or 8 games. Why fire him? So you have that whole controversy with Durant where he said to fire Nash and to fire Marks. If you're going to do that, why not just fire Nash over the summer?
You know why? Because the credit I give to Joe Tsai as the owner, he is not taking shit from Kyrie and Durant. He's going to put his feet in the ground.
Fair. Very fair.
Steve Nash was the sacrificial lamb.
But why only 7 or 8 games?
Oh, no, that's a big mistake in every way, shape, or form. They should have fired him before the season if there were any thoughts in the head of Tsai.
We're going where you're going with it, where you're talking about, Josiah's trying to put his foot in the ground, I'm not going to put up with shit with anybody. Then why not just wait till like mid-season where it's clear you're going to be the 7 or 8 seed at best, and then
not even make the playoffs,
and then say it's time to look to the future.
I think part of it has to do with you're trying to clean up the mess now.
I was gonna say,
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you, how much we'll get to Kyrie, but how much does Kyrie's controversy play there? Because now it's I feel like that's pouring acid onto a place where trash was all littered.
Gasoline meet match.
Well, first of all, the acid and the gasoline was poured on when Kyrie got the COVID situation and refused to get the vaccine. The acid on the garbage was poured when KD was threatening to stay out of training camp with the Nets when he wanted to be traded. So technically, the two of them have been causing a lot of this issue. They could say all they want, that they're the stars and they have the contracts. They cause part of this issue too.
They don't turn this team around, he's definitely going to get traded mid-season.
Who? Kyrie? Or KD?
KD.
KD's not going anywhere. No one's going to match the salary.
Joe Tsai has got to be, at least doing the calculus where he has to. Okay, if it doesn't happen by this date, I'm going to have to do this, this, and this.
Nick, he tried to match the trades up in the offseason. It just didn't work because they wanted too much.
But I do feel for Joe Tsai in this situation because it's like, what kind of circus did I
Actually, I feel worse for Sean Marks more than Joe Tsai.
Yeah, Sean Marks too. All of a sudden,
it's like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Because Sean Marks is the one putting the team together. Joe Tsai is just signing the checks.
Yeah, but to a certain extent, I mean, you knew what you were getting with
yeah,
Kyrie
but I
Irving.
feel like it was for Marks. It was basically he was screwed one way or another in that 2019 offseason because KD supposedly only wanted to come to the Nets if Kyrie was going to come. Now you knew he was a head case before he came to Brooklyn. So it's like either I'm screwed in that I have to deal with the head case, or I'm screwed in that I don't have to deal with I'm not going to have the talent. Now remember, this was also all pre-COVID. We didn't know COVID was going to hit. We didn't know that Kyrie was going to pull all the COVID shit. That
was the point I was making to Tom before we started here, that anyone who's saying, any Net fan, any NBA fan who's coming out now and saying, well, we knew Kyrie was going to do all this. First of all, put your hand down. You're a freaking liar if you knew any of this was going to happen. He was signed in the 2018-2019 season before COVID was even history. So you're a bunch of liars, and these fake-ass Net fans who have no idea, they don't know anything about being a Net fan like me since they were in New Jersey. All these fair-weather Net fans who are in Brooklyn don't understand.
Nick Morganson calling out all the hipster Net fans.
Ooh.
Well, because all the Net fans... all these New York fans, because that's really what they are, they jumped from being a Knick fan to a Net fan because they saw that the Nets went to Brooklyn and left New Jersey.
You're going to make them cry into their kombucha and PBR, dude.
Well, then, I'm tired of them saying they knew what Kyrie was going to be. You didn't know what Kyrie was going to be because COVID wasn't a thing when he signed as a free agent.
I think Kyrie knew what he was going to be.
And by the way, the only way you were getting KD was with Kyrie.
But that's my point. Mark said, you know what? As much as they're head cases, I would rather have the talent to compete rather than have no talent at all and be another disappointment and potentially lose my job.
And technically, he's not wrong.
Rather than crazy and bad.
And technically, he's not wrong because you need stars to compete. Now, the one thing I will say is the big three does not work anymore.
Well, we've already discussed that previously on the show.
The big three does not work because what happens when you have the big three on any team? You have no salary left.
Players.
You have no salary left. Everyone's taking the minimum. Now, I'll tell you, I said this on Game On. I'll say it here. There's two instances where the big three worked. Do you know what they are?
Miami.
What?
They're both in Miami.
No, Miami and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could say.
Well, they won championships.
You're talking about the 2018?
You could also say it worked for the Cavaliers.
They didn't really have a big three.
Didn't really have a big three, yeah, I agree.
But I'm talking about the Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, KG. And if you want to throw Rondo in, you could say you had four good players at the time. But that worked. And then Ray Allen jumped ship and joined the big three in Miami.
Right.
So...
But again, Miami also, but Nick, that Miami Big Three also had its fair share of role players.
Well,
Allen with the threes, Birdman, they all build some sort of role.
Rashard Lewis, talk about a name.
Yes.
Mike Miller. I mean, I could go on and name guys that were veterans and had really good years. They weren't stars, but they made teams go when the big three was not always on. By the way, did you see Chris Bosh got the last payment of his contract? Like he had a Bobby Bonilla.
He had Bobby Bonilla, and that's gone now.
But people need to relax. At the same time, if you want to hit the panic button on the Brooklyn Nets, it's warranted because this team is going in the shitter.
That's why we put that button there for you to use. You've been hanging on it.
Because this Nets team is in trouble. TRBL, as Charles Barkley says, trouble.
No shit.
What?
I said no shit.
Right. And first of all, I think they're going to do everything in their power to trade Kyrie Irving at the trade deadline. I think if you don't find a suitable partner by when's trade deadline? March or February? it's like I think it's February, but I can check.
If you don't find a partner after trade deadline, and he's still the Kyrie that we know, not playing games, making anti-Semitic statements like this, you might have to cut him. Because I get not doing it now because of the money thing, even though technically, you know, after he's free after the season. But at the very least, you know, by the time trade deadline comes, if you're in the toilet, if you're not making the playoffs, or if you're only 7 or 8 and you need to jumpstart this team,
it's February 9th.
All right, but if by All-Star break, then you may have to part ways just because of how bad. And again, you know what? No, I'm not gonna bring up Silver just yet. Let's go to the other parts of this Nets saga before we bring him up. So let's go to Kyrie. So Kyrie Irving has promoted. Well, he claims to not be promoting.
Oh, you finished the statement, and I'll tell you, I have plenty to say about this.
Okay, so Kyrie has been talking about on his social media accounts this video and book. I'm not going to name the title. Because,
let's just say nicely, it's Jews for N-word. That's the nicest thing we can say.
Well, not the hard N-word. The
it doesn't
league. Let's put it that way.
It doesn't matter. It's still an association with the N-word.
Agreed. But I'm saying, like, if you want to know the full title.
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
And basically, it has this book, which turned into a film, has several, you know, anti-Semitic messages and is accused of being anti-Semitic. Kyrie has been confronted on this, and he has not backed down. In fact, he tweeted about it again prior to a game, and at that game got into a confrontation with one of the Nets media members.
Well, it was ESPN's Nick Friedel after the game.
Yeah, Nick Friedel.
And to Friedell's credit, I mean, he didn't back down.
He pressed on.
The one thing I will say is the media sometimes oversteps their bounds in certain situations. The beginning of that question, when he asks him about the Alex Jones, we talked about this, where he posted a clip from Alex Jones' conspiracy theory. To bring that up again after they talked about it a month or two ago, that was a little much. That was a stretch by the media. But
I think Friedel was trying to give him a soft landing. It's like, are you sure you really want to say this stuff?
Okay, but
sure you want to double down on this?
Right, but you're rebirthing a story just to get to another point, is what I'm saying. Okay, put that aside for a second. Then he asks him about promoting the movie, whatever we want to call it, and Kyrie goes on to interrupt Friedel every time he is asking something and says, "I'm not promoting anything." Huh? You're not promoting it? So you writing a tweet on your social media account.
And you are a public figure out there in the world, in New York City.
Yeah. Forget New York City.
A fucking Powerade bottle, and you're telling me you're not influential?
But that's not he wasn't even saying that. The point for him he said he was not promoting it by tweeting it out. And I'm like, huh?
Everything you fucking do does that. And we should add as a caveat, we can't go into specifics about what was in the anti-Semitic video or book because it's
bad. It's horrifying.
It's horrifying stuff.
Yeah.
It's nutty, but it's
nutty. You're being nice.
I mean,
horribly anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's basically saying that like black people don't know their history, basically.
Right.
And saying that everything in the world that's wrong is because of
Jews, and which is just, it's stupefying how ridiculous it is. Even when you don't take it, even when you take it at face value. I mean, but again, the issue is not whether we're debating the merits of what he posted. It's that he posted this obvious bullshit, and it's pretty obvious that he believes this shit. And it's.
But wait a minute. So he gets asked, and he says, "Why did you post it?" and he says, I'm not promoting it. Maybe you should just not post this stuff because you're provoking the media to ask you a question of why you're promoting it.
Look, and if there's also something that you post and Nazis are fans of what you did, that would really, if it was me, that would really cause me to rethink some of the positions that I
Okay,
hold.
but he's a public figure, Nick. He doesn't care. And he goes on to say that I don't care. I wait a minute.
Doesn't care.
Wait. So he said to Friedel as he's fighting with Friedel back and forth, saying, You or the rest of the media don't tell me what to post. I post what I want and stop dehumanizing me.
First of all, yeah, it's your social media account. Technically, we can't stop you. But to say that we're dehumanizing you,
You're dehumanizing a bunch of races with what you're doing.
Exactly.
Black people, Jewish people, people in general.
I mean, not to bring this, I don't mean to bring this up, but look at what Kanye's doing with all the situations.
Well, how funny that because Kanye posted a photo a couple of days ago calling Kyrie a real one.
And Stephen A. Smith.
It's like, dude, literally, you can't even finish it. It's just, dude.
No, but and then Kyrie goes on to basically say, well, all you're looking for is an Instagram clip to be famous again. No, moron.
We're trying to make sure you understand the harm you're causing.
Hey, asshole. Maybe if you focused on the court rather than off the court, maybe people would want you.
And I had mentioned to you guys before, I'd mentioned it before the show started, but it's pretty obvious that COVID sent him off the deep end. This is already a guy who was very impressionable, very naive, and seems to have a difficult time separating what he heard on the internet from what objective, provable reality is.
Well, this is
this is the guy who thought the Earth was flat.
This is the same guy who had to spread curry around on the court in Boston because he thought he was doing something for his religion.
So it's pretty obvious he's very susceptible to misinformation and the white nationalist quote unquote conspiracy theory rabbit hole.
It's pretty clear that he needs
in this political climate to do that.
It's pretty clear he needs a media literacy course.
Well, I want to correct.
Unless this is just the Kyrie that was who he was before, and we're just finding out about him, and he's letting everything out, no limits.
I want to correct one thing, though, Nick, that you said, which is it's not that he's susceptible to misinformation; it's that he believes the misinformation. How can you be susceptible if you just believe everything that's written?
You're susceptible because susceptible in this case meaning you are especially vulnerable to believing this shit hook, line, and sinker.
No, but usually that means you were misled by somebody. You're just believing everything that's being put out there.
I mean, literally any other person, or any other normal quote unquote person would take that with a healthy dose of skepticism. Really,
no shit.
But it's unquestioned when it comes from him. And I don't look. It wouldn't be a problem if it was just a crazy guy on a bus, just ranting to everybody.
Well, be careful with that, but because you want to make sure everyone is healthy.
Yes,
they could get the help they need.
But this isn't a problem about mental illness. Again,
well,
because if he's trying to make it like that, he's making mentally ill people look bad.
Nick, something tells me there's some mental illness going on with him, maybe.
But if that's the case, then he should be getting help. There are people in the next.
Okay, but here's the problem.
Him. But he doesn't realize.
Right. What's the number one step of curing, or not curing, but helping mental illness? What's the first thing you have to know about yourself?
Admitting that there's a problem.
Thank you. He doesn't think there's a problem going on.
It's pretty clear in his actions. He doesn't think there's a problem.
By the way, I would compare Kyrie Irving to Ron Artest. Ron Artest had a lot of issues on the court, but he came out afterwards. I don't know if you saw some of the documentaries and stuff. He has mental health issues. He does.
He's had that for years, but
like I said, unless this is just Kyrie, who he's always been, and we're just really getting the no limits version right now.
Okay, but the NBA needs to either suspend him, fine him, do something. This is not appropriate. The owner.
This has become a dangerous situation. I mean, it got dangerous to the point where Tsai has basically had to come out with a statement saying he was disappointed in Kyrie for doing this, and he was going to have a talk with him. And here's the thing: a situation like this, I mean, when there's a situation involving a player, sometimes, when you see something come out in public, there's often criticism for dragging it out into public. I feel like here, Tsai was left with no choice with what Kyrie was doing.
And you know what the difference
and the
is?
hate he's spewing.
You know what the difference is, though? Tsai is actually being the owner that's willing to take the bullets from Kyrie and KD and is willing to make statements against his guys.
I mean, Nick, that's not surprising with Tsai. I mean, think about it. He ended up paying for that flight for the New York Liberty,
right.
And he actually got in trouble with the WNBA commissioner. He is not afraid to, when there is an issue at hand, he will step in. He's doing more for this situation than Adam Silver is.
Well, we'll get to Adam Silver in a few moments.
Adam Silver, it seems to me like Adam Silver is going to take the tack where, it's the Nets' problem. You guys deal with it. I'm not defending him.
We haven't gotten there yet. But to finish that point you were saying, Tsai did do that, where he helped the Liberty, which is another team he owns, get on private airplanes, because apparently the WNBA doesn't allow that either. Which, by the way, who owns the WNBA?
The NBA does.
The NBA.
So guess whose problem it is, technically?
Their problem.
So I feel like, guys, the more we talk about Adam Silver and the crap, the more that he needs his own banner. Like good old Rod Manfred, Roger Goodell strikes again.
He does need his own banner.
You know what? We should call it "Good Job, Adam Silver."
We'll have to think about that over time. But I just don't know. And I give a lot of credit to Tsai because he is taking the bullets. Like I said, he's not afraid of KD. He's not afraid of Kyrie. He's not afraid to let go of Steve Nash, even though he probably should have done it last season, but that's a whole neither here nor there situation at this point. Kyrie needs to be suspended, fined, and better yet, I would pay him to go away.
I agree.
You're going to find yourself in a situation where they're going to have to make a decision.
Like I said, this is the last year on his contract. There's little loss here. He's already gonna get his guaranteed money because the season has started. At this point, you might rather, get rid of him and then bring somebody in on like the league minimum to just fill the role. At this point, Kyrie is doing more damage to the Nets, doing more damage to the National Basketball Association, and he is doing more damage to humanity than releasing him could ever do.
I missed this statement. So apparently the MBPA put out a statement about anti-Semitism.
Oh, really?
And so here's the statement. The following statement from the MBPA. Quote, anti-Semitism has no place in our society. The MBPA is focused on creating an environment where everyone is accepted. We are committed to helping players fully understand that certain words can lead to hateful ideologies being spread. We will continue to work on identifying and combating all hate speech wherever it arises. Really?
I mean, they at a certain point, it's like it's almost like they're subliminally trying to get Adam Silver to it's like, do something, you moron.
By the way, I just remembered something else. This statement doesn't mention Kyrie Irving. Do you know what Kyrie Irving's role is in the MBPA?
Isn't he an executive, or he's not the president, is he?
He's the VP of the MBPA.
The VP, yeah.
Are you kidding me, NBA? So you're not going to take a stance against your guy who committed anti-Semitic rants?
Honestly, if you then it's an interesting thought exercise. If let's say LeBron and pretty much everybody, including LeBron and
who's the MBPA president right now? It's not
McCollum.
McCollum.
What if LeBron and CJ McCollum and Chris Paul all put out a joint statement condemning Kyrie Irving specifically? Do you think that gets him to stop?
No. Hell no, it doesn't.
Kyrie
Irving is so far in the distance that he doesn't even see anybody behind him. Kyrie Irving tomorrow would tweet that same statement 1,000,000 times if he could. You know what I don't get either? Why didn't Twitter condemn the statements?
Well,
I mean, Twitter's in the middle of its own.
Twitter's in the middle of their own dark night of the hate-filled soul.
Okay, but that's not the point. Technically, if that's true, what he tweeted, that's hate speech.
Yeah, but remember, this is we're about to enter a Twitter where any speech is free speech.
No, I understand, but technically, hate speech is wrong.
I understand that, but does Mr. Musk see it that way?
Well, no. Musk wants Trump back on Twitter, but that's a different issue.
I feel like this sound effect is appropriate for Kyrie, Adam Silver, Elon Musk, and just a whole bunch of people in this situation.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It fits. It fits. It definitely fits.
I just don't know what you do here. In my opinion, Kyrie Irving needs to be suspended, and until what they need to do to him also, until he takes his statement back, he's not allowed to come back to the NBA. He's not allowed to come back to the NBA. He's suspended until further notice. Until he.
You got to make sure he means it though, because yeah.
No, I'm sorry, but think about this, guys, because now we're bringing up NBA suspension. Adam Silver. We just got off of the whole Robert Sarver situation.
You got off two situations, not just the Sarver. You got off the Ime Udoka situation too.
Right, and Ime Udoka, who's now involved in this next situation. My point was, if he wasn't going to do much for the Sarver situation compared to what he did for over a decade ago with Donald Sterling. But let me ask you, considering the circumstances of Sterling, considering the circumstance of what we've seen with Robert Sarver and the aftermath and all the criticism, if this was the Adam Silver for 2014, do you think Kyrie Irving would be banned for life?
He would be suspended at the very least.
It's tough because, again, different circumstances. You didn't have COVID back then. You didn't have all these issues going on. He might have gotten a warning just because, again, we're talking about different world circumstances at the time in 2014, and this is now 2022. So we're talking about 8 years ago or almost 10 years ago. So different circumstances. It's hard to know.
I mean, at the very least, there's got to be some sort of harsh punishment. But like you guys said, Silver just doesn't seem to want to get involved in this.
Silver is a worm, okay? He has no business at all. He has no idea what is going on in the league. The league is a dumpster fire. If you told me a year ago that Adam Silver was going to be a dumpster fire and not be able to run his league and we're calling 911 on Adam Silver because we have an emergency and a bunch of fires to put out, I would have said you're a liar.
And how can you run a league like that where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing?
I think it's also more a matter of Adam Silver has kind of, I'll just flat out say it, he's lost his nuts. He has no cojones.
I mean, he's too busy sucking them to be using them.
I mean,
I have an idea. It's an Adam Silver slip up.
That's good.
God, you're turning into me.
I don't know. Adam Silver is a disappointment now to me because Adam Silver was the number one commissioner out of all sports because he was on top of all the bullshit that was going on in the league. He had technology for everybody else. He was getting everyone to travel around the country to promote the sport. They are one of the best at promoting their own individual sport. Now they're having issues. They can't control domestic violence. They can't control anti-Semitic slurs.
There are several players and employees of the league who can't keep their junk in their pants.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother issue, which we'll get to.
And they're going to be coaching said dumpster fires.
But I don't know. Adam Silver's got to go. He's got to go. Sorry. He's got to go. He can't run his league.
What the hell happened? Guys. Guys. The NHL commissioner, Gary Bettman, is looking like the best option of all the four sports leagues right now.
Fucking default.
By default.
I would say right now Roger Goodell. It hurts me, but I'm going to say Roger Goodell is top commissioner.
We still got the Deshaun situation. We can't.
Well, the NHL has their own domestic violence issues in some aspects too.
But at least the NHL comes down on it.
We'll see.
The problem is not enough people in this country give a shit about hockey for
Yeah.
for it to become a national issue.
I don't know. I mean, the NBA is in trouble.
Niche problems are not as big in scale as mainstream culture problems.
I don't know what to tell you, though, but the NBA needs to get on top of Kyrie Irving. The Nets need to get on top of Kyrie Irving. The NBA should be dealing with this. But we all know Adam Silver is just going to go wait behind the lackey PR of the NBA, who's going to say, well, we don't accept anti-Semitic slurs, like the NBA PA statement.
We're just going to let the process play out and let the chips fall where they may.
And first of all, the NBA PA is a fraud because they put out that dumb statement.
Oh, and speaking of with players, where is LeBron in all of this?
Nowhere, because he doesn't want to be involved in controversy.
Yeah, just like how he never seems to be involved in controversy unless it's something he wants to speak up on.
Well, or it's his teammate.
Or if it's his teammate.
At the time.
Like I think back to when Jeremy Lin was basically called coronavirus on the court. And it seemed like NBA's players, especially LeBron, just stood silent.
I don't know.
Some players just don't want to. I don't get it. Hate speech is hate speech.
Of course, hate speech is hate speech. But it would be nice if Adam Silver came out on his own and said, I'm condemning this hate speech and I'm going to do the shit that no one else is going to do.
Yeah, well,
the commissioner actually acted like the commissioner and not just a guy whose name tag says commissioner on it.
Adam Silver's not a commissioner. He's a figurehead.
Well, that's exactly what he's got the name tag that says commissioner on it.
Adam Silver has no balls. I'm sorry. He has no balls out.
You know what? Adam Silver's not a commissioner. He's a lawyer. That's it. I said it.
It's a Greek tragedy, and he's playing the role of Sans Testicles.
They're for the Broncos. We take a trip to the circus that is Adam Silver and the NBA. I'm the Brooklyn Nets. It's a triple palooza circus. Now, I thought we were done with the NBA, but as it turns out, no, we're not. We also had Josh Primo being waived by the Spurs. So he comes out with a statement, guys, after the release, basically saying he's dealing with past trauma and is getting all sorts of mental health, which sounds great, except the next day, Woj and Ramon Shelbourne report that he has been accused of exposing himself to a former female team employee. And this former female team employee, and I'm really going to send Nick Orgson over the edge, has hired representation by the name of Tony Busby.
Oh, bro.
Now, if that name rings a bell,
stinks!
Which it should, he was initially the opposing counsel in the Deshaun Watson kerfuffle, debacle. How do you want to put it?
Yes.
Yeah. All the above.
Kerbuckle.
Yes, but this is as if in response. This is what happens when the NBA PR machine is allowed to do its work, even when. Because honestly, it was a move that the Spurs had to make. It honestly was a move that the Spurs.
They made a move without a doubt.
Because it's pretty obvious that you couldn't. The Spurs didn't want to deal with the backlash. B couldn't deal with the backlash, and C was Josh Primo. Was he? I'm genuinely asking.
Second year of his rookie deal.
He's 19 years old. He was a 12th overall pick in 2021 draft.
So they were expecting some big things out of him, I'd imagine.
He was only putting up 6 points a game, but he was getting big minutes with the Spurs. There's no business with this. I mean, what the fuck are you doing?
But that's the other part of the NBA that they don't want you to talk about.
And by the way, stop using mental health as an excuse for waving your junk in public.
Oh well, yeah. Isn't that the hallmark of any person who tries to get away with something
No,
monstrous?
but I'm so tired of this. Ime Udoka, I'm surprised we didn't hear mental health from his situation. Oh, I cheated. Oh, my mental health got in the way.
Yeah,
Because everybody deals with mental health, but not a lot of people deal with it like that.
I don't know. I just don't want to hear it. When you wave your junk in public, you made a conscious decision to do it.
In other words, stop using mental health as a crutch.
Because Nick said it last week. He said it on BTB last week. You make people with mental health look like assholes when you do it.
Yes, exactly. And this is emblematic of the fact that the past off season, it's become increasingly clear, abundantly clear, that the NBA is an inwardly and outwardly hostile place for women to work. And you don't want to have that perception.
Well,
I mean, I would rather you not have that. I would rather you care more about the practice than the perception.
Well,
it really does seem to me like the NBA cares about the latter rather than the former.
Nick, I would say it's not just the NBA. I would say that the professional sports world is a hostile environment for women to work in.
That's a good. No, that's definitely a good point.
Because I can't think. Can you think off the top of your head, except for Kim Ning, who works as a Marlins GM? It's hard to think of very high profile women in the professional sports world.
Yeah, other than Gene Afterman, who was the vice president of the Yankees. But
yes,
other than Gene Afterman, it's really just her and Kim Ning. But was that
or Jeannie Buss? Jeannie Buss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeannie Buss as well. How can I forget? But yeah, I mean, this was the end. The Spurs trying to head off a potential PR nightmare. Now, if this had come out later or right around this time, it might have been swallowed up by all this Kyrie business.
Let me ask one more thing. How long do you think the Spurs knew this for?
Probably pretty close to when it happened.
No, but I'm saying, how long do you think they were holding on to that for? Because the only way we found out from it was because the woman hired a lawyer.
Well, when did the woman say this took place?
I don't know. I think it was last week.
Let me have a look.
But I'm saying is, it's all these situations. The Ime Udoka situation apparently was 6 to 7 months, and then they did something about it.
They probably were informed about this, if not the day of, at least the next day.
I don't see in the report any mention of a date.
Yeah, because they don't want to incriminate themselves. But my point is, this whole thing is a mess.
Considering how the NBA likes to drag its feet in getting things right and getting justice, I mean, a week to deal with this is downright expedient. And yes, it's an Adam Silver slip-up.
But let me say one more thing. He's 19 years old. He's 19 years old. He's not even 21. He's 19. He's a kid.
Not that that's an excuse.
And by the way, and I know people say this about professional sports when you went to the league. Oh, well, you have to become a man quickly because you're a professional player. Stop. He's a kid.
But
he's a kid.
Yes, but I mean, I think even at 19, you don't, go and show your junk to.
No. I'm saying
workplace.
I'm saying that he's, even though you have to be an adult, he's still a kid. I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm saying it's worse because he's a kid.
I mean, this kid had all of the world was going to be his oyster, and now who knows what his NBA.
And by the way, so when he hit the waivers, guess what happened?
Nobody claimed him.
Zilch, zero, nobody. And the sick part is, I said when I was with Johnny, and I said with other people, I thought someone was going to take a chance on him because he's 19.
Or somebody would have been that desperate.
Well, forget desperate. But I'm saying, you might be right, but forget desperate for a second. He's 19. Someone I thought would have taken a chance on the guy. But I don't blame them. That's a weird situation to be in.
All right, Mr. Morgeson. The NBA stuff is over. You can finally breathe.
Wow, 50 freaking minutes on the off-the-court NBA issues. And that didn't even include Kawhi Leonard and his load management issues.
Yeah, knee management injury. So the NBA is battling load management. The NBA is battling injury bugs. The NBA is battling this whole Kyrie thing. Josh Primo, Adam Silver's got quite the jungle on his hands.
I can't believe it. We spent 50 minutes on the NBA off the court. Think about that.
Not even talking about play on the court. We're not even talking about any great game highlights or stuff that happened on the court. This is all stupid shit that we really shouldn't even have to talk about because people should know better. But Kyrie's gonna Kyrie, and Adam Silver's gonna Adam Silver, I guess.
I can sum it up in one interesting way.
And all the failure.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Let's talk about some fun now. Obviously, World Series got bumped here, but you know what? We did have something big in the sports world. We had the NFL trade deadline. Now, historically, it's always been a quiet kind of time, but not this year. This year, we actually had quite a few deals that were flying around.
They said this year this was going to be one of the busiest trade deadline in years.
And it kind of proved to be that. So, one of the last deals, guys, that managed to get in before the deals expired, the Bills have a running back, but it's not Christian McCaffrey, obviously, as he was dealt to the Niners that we've talked about. It's Nyheim Hines. However, it also came with them trading Zach Moss, their number 2 running back, to the Colts, as well as a conditional 5th-round pick. Now,
they did this a running back too late, though.
I agree. However, Moss, I don't think is a big loss because they did draft James Cook in the last draft. Those of you who don't know, James Cook is the younger brother of Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook. So they're probably hoping that James can somehow turn into his brother.
Well, you shouldn't be crossed because Zach Moss is not a big loss, but therein lies the problem. I mean, they're pretty much ready to compete for a Super Bowl. They've been ready to compete for a Super Bowl, and that seems to me like what this move is.
No,
they need a 2-headed running back monster.
No, this was huge. They didn't really have a number 1 running back. I thought they were going to make this trade for McCaffrey. They did not do it.
Who's gotten the lion's share of the work at running back this year?
I think it's been Devin Singletary.
It was Singletary, yeah.
I think Nyheim Hines does well enough that he could take over for Singletary, or he can be that 3rd down pass back. There's a few options that they could do with Hines. I think Singletary and Hines is pretty decent. And, obviously they still have Josh Allen to throw into Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. I'm not worried. The Bills still look like, maybe it is a disappointment that they didn't get Christian McCaffrey, but they are still the clear AFC favorites at this point right now.
This just made them even more of a favorite. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Chase Claypool also getting traded. Steelers trading him away to the Bears for a 2023 second. Guys,
now, the Bears?
I think the Bears got fleeced again.
I mean, first of all, when I went to sleep last night, the Bears weren't competing. I wake up today and now they are?
Well, wait. So they made 2 other trades too. I think they traded Roquan Smith
to the Ravens for
and who was the other one that they traded?
Let me see how. So they traded Roquan Smith to the Ravens, and they received linebacker AJ Klein and 2 2023 picks, and they got Claypool. What was the other deal here? I have the whole.
I'm trying to remember myself.
It might have been a pre-deadline. Yeah, it was a pre-deadline move. Trading away Robert Quinn, the defensive end, for a 4th.
That's it. That was the Eagles, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they made trades and then they brought Chase Claypool in. I was lost.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense why they're doing this. I mean, they're trying to maybe get Justin Fields some help, but you traded away 2 defensive parts. I don't understand this.
But is that the problem that he didn't have enough targets to throw to? I mean,
yes.
It is part of the problem. Me, of course, you guys know I'm not a Justin Fields fan. I think he stinks.
Well, no, Justin Fields is too busy jumping over offensive players.
I mean, their record. Let me just do a bit.
Was it 3-5?
It's got to be something like that. Chicago Bears record right now is they are 3-5. They're tied with the Packers for second in the division.
Ouch!
They're both 4 games behind the Vikings, who sit at 6-1 atop the North.
So
Ouch.
I mean, it really does seem like they think they can compete for a playoff spot.
A wild
because,
card spot, yeah.
Like
I mean,
you said, they're tied for second place.
They have the same record. They have the same record as the Packers, but you know what?
RELAX.
Halloween was yesterday, dickhead.
Did you and your girlfriend enjoy your trip to Salem, Massachusetts, Aaron?
Did you have that witch's brew you promised?
Did you go to that candle? Did you go to that candle shop in Natick? I hear it's very cozy this time of year.
Well, I heard you got that voodoo doll of Roger Goodell that you're going to use.
Don't ask where the pin is going.
Speaking of defensive parts, guys, Broncos making moves with defensive parts. So they traded a 2024 fourth to the Jets for Jacob Martin, the defensive end. Mr. Jets fan, you seem very disappointed.
What are you doing?
Wait, this is a bad move for the Jets? Is that what you're saying?
You're trading part of your defense away, which is the best part of the team?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't get it either. So yeah, the Broncos are trade. I really.
But then they go and trade Bradley Chubb as well.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, and I understand Broncos country, let's ride, but I'm pretty sure they weren't thinking about riding right off a cliff. Because it really looks to me, to the naked eye, they're blowing the motherfucker up.
Well, here's my question. It seems that way because they acquired a first, but here's my question. Why is Chase Edmonds in the deal? I guess they really want to move on from Melvin Gordon.
Well, they have Mostert.
Okay, fair. That's fair, but I'm talking about on the Broncos end.
And
right?
and also I think the Dolphins acquired another running back, didn't they? From the Niners?
I guess they got Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, so it's not a running back issue. But
correct.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The Broncos have Melvin Gordon and they have Latavius Murray after Javonte Williams went down with injury. I don't know why they need a third running back.
I don't know. Maybe it's just having depth. I don't know.
But I mean, they got the first. The Broncos got the first, and they kind of need that at this point.
I mean, the thing is, a certain hack might not be around to take in the glory after all that.
And you know what? Since we're talking about the Broncos, I can't resist, guys. I feel like that's just the sound effect of the episode.
Can we just make that the new theme song of the Denver Broncos?
Is there a way we can hack into their sound system so make sure that that plays through the stadium speakers
every time they come out of the tunnel? It's like bringing in the clowns.
You stink! Bring in the clowns!
And then when they leave, you basically have that thing again.
Or that's like that thing from the Amanda Show. Case dismissed. Bring in the dancing lobsters.
Dancing lobsters, I think, would be able to put on a better offensive performance.
I don't think you're wrong.
The catch of the day in northeastern Maine could probably have a better offensive performance.
Oh, wait. I thought you said that the lobsters were going to be the catch of the day. Oh, wait. The Broncos can't even have a catch of the day.
Speaking of catch, guys, the Jaguars have a new wide receiver, except you're not going to see him until next season because the Jaguars have acquired Calvin Ridley.
So the Falcons pretty much traded an IOU to the Jaguars.
And they got a conditional fifth and conditional second for it.
What the
Why? Why?
Is it a thing where the Jaguars GM can see into the future and the past simultaneously?
I guess the Jaguars are playing for next year already.
So I just want to clarify so everyone understands this trade because I had to look this up myself. So it starts as a conditional fifth. If he makes the roster and signs a contract, it becomes a fourth. Then if he signs an extension and a certain playing time, it becomes a third, and then it could become a second. So it starts as a fifth and could be a second.
I mean, the Jaguars are 2-6, and they're 4 games behind the Titans. So I guess they also are looking already ahead to next year. This is the next year move.
I guess the Falcons really fell out of faith with Calvin Ridley.
Guess so. I guess that's what gambling can do to you, despite the fact that I mean, yeah, gambling and the team loses faith. But
This suspension is brought to you by FanDuel.
I'm still going to say it again. Oh, good.
I was going to say, but you can have 20-something lawsuits against you for sexual misconduct, and you get a $230 million fully guaranteed contract.
What the f?
Isn't it funny how that works out?
I mean, I don't understand.
Nick, I'm curious, Nick Federa, how your father felt about this move. The Vikings acquired T.J. Hawkinson.
In fact, I can tell you how my father feels about this. He didn't even realize it happened.
Well, actually, do you know why they made the trade, Nick, or no?
Oh, yeah. Do you know?
Because I'll tell you why if you don't know.
No, I don't know.
So Irv Smith is injured and out for the rest of the season. He was the tight end for the Vikings.
I mean, is Adam Thielen? Yeah, because Adam Thielen's still there, right?
Yes, yeah. He's still there. He's a little banged up from last week, but still there. But here's my thing. I think T.J. Hawkins is an improvement over Irv Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah.
No, he absolutely is. I mean, they're gunning. The Vikings are gunning for the division.
This is a gun move. Yeah.
And by the way, T.J. Hawkinson is saying, thank you for getting me out of Detroit.
Their record, I believe, is 5-2. So, or
Vikings 6-1.
He's like, my prayer was answered.
So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Spielman, I think Rick Spielman's still
yes.
Rick Spielman's like, look, we're never going to get this opportunity with Kirk Cousins to compete like this ever again. So let's take advantage while we have it now.
Hey, this is 2 seasons in a row now where Cousins and the Vikings have actually been up on top there.
Shh, not so loud. Everybody in Minnesota will want to kill us.
But I think also the defense has been vastly improved over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, I know they lost a couple of key pieces like Xavier Woods and such, but I think they've definitely come.
I think it's a, like Nick said and like you said, I think it's a big swing for the fences move for the division.
Mm-hmm. The Packers are finally out of your way. Go for it. The guard is struggling with his own zipper. Go for it.
Wait, so when do the Packers play the Vikings again? Do we know?
I don't think it's so late in the season. Let me double check.
Oh, I'm so gonna laugh.
I know they played week 1 in Minnesota.
Did Minnesota win?
Yeah, and Minnesota won that game. And now they're going to play week number 17. So New Year's Day.
Oh wow, it's a big game if it's close.
Yep.
You better not lose that game.
I mean, we'll see.
Let's going over some deals that happened in the lead up to deadline day. I tried to get all the November 1st deals in on those little banners, but just some other things to look out for. The Steelers acquired cornerback William Jackson III from the Commanders for a conditional 6 in 2025.
They almost were going to cut him if they didn't get a deal.
Obviously, there was also the Kadarius Toney trade where the Giants received a compensatory 3rd-round pick and a 6th. So, yeah, the Giants didn't add any receivers, so you could criticize this move. However, we do find out via Kadarius Toney's own Twitter account, where he basically admitted to overselling some of his injury this season in an attempt to, because he was so disgruntled.
He's an idiot.
Now the Giants will tell you that they were playing it. They will probably tell you that they were being cautious.
Oh, stop!
Kadarius Toney probably didn't see it that way.
No, Kadarius Toney's an idiot. Yeah, I mean,
but like I said in my minute, I mean they're getting a dynamic receiver that can when he's on the field, he's got hands. He's got hands for days.
He needs to be fined.
I think he needs to be fined and suspended a game or 2.
But but in terms of what the Giants did or for didn't do, I mean, I understand that that Joe Schoen, the Giants GM Joe Schoen, did not want to mortgage the future because it's pretty obvious that he wants to accumulate as much draft capital to build up as much as he can in the skill positions, the non-sexy positions.
I mean, even you could even say maybe try to find a wide receiver in like the 3rd round or something in the coming draft. But yeah, build up the offensive line, build up the defense.
Yeah. However, I completely understand it, and believe me, they didn't expect it. They didn't expect to be here, and what got the Giants in this mess was not thinking long term. So I get that. However, I can't help but feel a little disappointed because, I mean, it kind of sends a signal that you really don't believe that this team can compete. I mean, for a young team like them, a young team didn't expect to be here, kind of starstruck by the moment. You want to be able to give them any kind of reassurance. It's like, okay, stay focused on the hero.
I think for me, Nick Federa, the thing is that I think the more disappointment for me about not requiring a wide receiver, a better wide receiver, is how are you going to fully judge Danny? Like, unless this is a sign that Danny will probably get a new contract at the end of the season.
Well, we don't know that yet. It all depends how the season
I'm saying, is this maybe a sign that they've seen enough and they are willing to go and give him a new contract?
Well,
right.
I still don't
You're
understand.
Muted,
and
no.
that they have faith that Kenny Golladay can come back healthy and contribute.
Yeah, they have more faith in me then.
Wait.
Yeah, that's that. It's like don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Wait, there's one thing though. I would say that why didn't they trade the $72 million man on the roster first?
Because they couldn't get anything for him, I'd imagine.
Because they're stuck. It's a fully guaranteed year. And there's more guaranteed money next year. After next year, they can easily get rid of him.
I mean, as much as I would like Odell Beckham Jr. to come storming into the locker room at the end of the season, like the end of
Shine has actually come out and basically said he basically has sent some sort of message to Odell saying that the door for a conversation is open if he wanted it.
It's not going to happen.
I understand that, and it still kind of pisses me off that they won't at least engage him
because he doesn't want to be there.
Does he? I mean, this is a different Giant team than what he had.
My only question, Nick, is for him, what is his purpose? Because as much as I liked him. I didn't exactly hate him. The question I have, and I was critical even when he was a Giant, even when I was a fan, is what is going to be your purpose? Are you here because you think this team can compete and you want to help any way possible? Or do you want to be the big star? Because it's pretty clear with how they're treating Golladay that they're not focused on your 2010s players. They're focused on your Wan'Dale Robinsons. They're focused on your before he got hurt, and I know he's a tight end, not a receiver, but your Bellingers. They're focused on a young core. Odell, he is not a young man. Around 30 in NFL years, he is not young.
Let me preface one thing before, and I'm going to say this to Nick especially. Odell is not the number one that he was with the Giants anymore. Okay, he is a shell of himself.
I think he was, and I think honestly with the Rams, some of the beefing with the Rams right now is because last season he was willing to take that trade because he wanted to get his ring. And credit to him, he played a significant role. He got his ring
until he got hurt.
But he also managed to do well as a number two because obviously nobody is topping Cooper Kupp, and maybe he has some of that resentment in that he is not going to top Cooper Kupp in Los Angeles.
And also, if he goes to the Giants, that would be a de facto situation as a number one, which he is not. There is no one else.
But again, it's not a matter of that. He does have number one talent, but I think the Giants again are focused on youth. They're not looking back to the 2010s. They're looking ahead to the 2020s. And beyond.
But I don't think Odell helps them though.
That's where the frustration comes in, because what exactly are you expecting in terms? What is Joe Schoen expecting the outcome for this team to be? Because it's pretty obvious that he expects them to go to the playoffs, but I don't think he expects them to do much.
Okay, but here's the problem with that. You're not going. First of all, you're going to get bounced in the first round with this wide receiver core.
I was going to say, here's the problem. you play two very weak teams in the Texans and Lions when you come back from the bye. So you should be an 8-win team, and then come a bunch of your divisional matchups, which is really going to tell how this season is going to end for the Giants.
And what you're going to be.
But I think that's also the problem is that, like they're facing the Vikings, but the NFC West is a little too difficult to tell. The problem is, yeah, they have a weak schedule, but I'm like trying to think, okay, I guess the biggest test for them will be how they play when they play the Vikings on Christmas Eve, because they're the only ones in the NFC that has a clear hold of a division other than the Eagles in the Giants' own division. The NFC West is currently right now a coin flip, and the NFC South, both Souths, the NFC and AFC Souths, are dumpster fires.
The freaking Falcons are first place right now.
And they're not even above 500, I think. That they're
right. They're 3-5.
3-5.
The freaking NFC South.
Remember when the NFC East used to be the NFC least?
Now the NFC South is the NFC least.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh God.
Some other trades, by the way. The Cowboys got Jonathan Hankins and a 7th rounder in 2024 for a 6th. That they give the Las Vegas Raiders. James Robinson, of course, after Breece Hall's injury. Nick Morganson, that made you very happy. And they got a steal. A conditional 6th.
Yeah, I don't know what the Jaguars, unless they were just looking to clear space.
I think because the contract ends after this season.
That I could see them bringing him back there, too.
I agree. That would be a great duo, Breece Hall and James Robinson. That'd be a hell of a duo.
Now, if we could just fix our freaking quarterback situation, we might have a better team. God.
All right. So that was the NFL trade deadline in a nutshell. Like we said, much better than years past.
Yeah, really.
All right. Some recapping for NFL Week 8.
How did we do?
Let's see. So I got 10. I got 10 points. 10.5, pardon me. Nick Federa got 10. Nick Morganson, 10.5. We had a pretty decent week. The only one who hit a lock was Nick Federa because the Vikings had their way with the Cardinals. And Nick Morganson, you and I, well, Jets let us down. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Freaking penalties!
You know what? I mean, at least you can hide behind the fact that you were so damn cynical you didn't pick them to win.
No, but I'm sorry. The NFL refs got that rough in the passer wrong, and everyone who says the rough in the passer's a jerk.
Yeah, but, I mean, they didn't even look good against the Pats. And Nick Morganson, I'm starting to come onto your side that maybe, I mean, if this was still the Jets of last year, then I say maybe keep Zach Wilson around, continue to let him build, but with how the Jets have been performing, if they maintain the way that they've been playing the first half and the second half, then you're going to have a question about Zach Wilson.
I mean, he tried to throw a ball out of bounds, and he didn't throw it hard enough out of bounds, and it became a pick.
Twice. McCourty got him twice.
Right, twice. And also, he almost ran out of the back of the end zone before throwing the ball away. This guy's not a quarterback. He's not a quarterback. He's a monkey with the clapping cymbals.
Oh, wait. Hang on a minute. Pardon me, guys. I completely forgot. Actually, it was Nick Morganson and I got 10, and Nick Federa only got 9.5. I forgot the Bills technically didn't cover because they won by 10 and not 11.
Unreal.
But Packers are still a dumpster fire. Bills are still an AFC favorite. Hey, we had our stream yesterday, by the way, with the Browns and Bengals on Halloween, and that game did not go as I expected.
Well, technically you mean Monday, but yes.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
So we're back to disrespecting the Bengals because it's clearly they don't respect our time.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
That's it. That game was trash. I'm sorry. We apologize to everyone. I mean, it's not our fault, but
I mean, blame Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Hey, don't shoot the Halloween messengers, okay? We just delivered the candy. We didn't know that it was poisonous.
Eagles had their way with the Steelers in the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Saints blanked the Raiders. Devontae Adams got only like 1 or 2 fantasy points.
3 yards. 3 yards.
3 yards for Devontae Adams in that whole game.
And Derek Carr had 101.
The Ravens defeat the Buccaneers 27-22 on Thursday Night Football, one day before Tom Brady and Giselle called it quits officially.
Which, like I said in the promo, Giselle found God and Tom found out it wasn't him. So, and to be honest with you, I've said it before. I said it last week, and I'm going to keep saying it. Tom, go home to your children.
He looks, well, too late for that.
He left your wife for this?
He looks so old. He's showing age. He looks
thin.
stressed.
He looks weirdly thin.
He looks miserable.
Is there a medical problem he's dealing with that they're trying to hide from everybody?
Well,
I mean, I hope not.
We're not going to go deep into this, but basically, it's over. Just hang it up.
And I have a question, guys. How the hell did the Broncos beat the Jaguars in London?
It's Broncos country. You don't question Broncos country.
I'm sorry, did you say Broncos country?
Oh no!
You said it's just like what's it called? Pee Wee Herman. Where the show is like he had the secret word. The secret word here, gentlemen, is Broncos country. Let's ride.
You had to say it again, Nick.
You know what, guys? I think we should do an activity in celebration of their win. We should go to high knees in the aisle of an airplane.
What?
I said we should, in celebration, we should go to high knees in the aisle of an airplane.
Yeah. Should we?
I think we should. Come on, let's get up and do some high knees.
Oh my god.
That's what you get for flying on United.
What's going on over there? Are you losing your signal over there, Nick?
No, it's just that, every time you ride in Broncos country, you lose reception sometimes.
Of course you do.
Some injury lists. We already talked about Irv Smith. DK Metcalf. Guys, last week, DK Metcalf was told, it was basically reported that he probably would be out for the season. He and Tyler Lockett both played this week despite their injuries, and the Seahawks defeated the Giants.
The Seahawks are the hottest team in the NFL.
Geno Smith is the hottest quarterback in the NFL right now.
Something good for Geno. Good for Geno.
It's about damn time.
And I mean that 100% sincerely. He was the butt of the joke for so long. Now who's laughing?
But he's got to let it go. He's got to stop going back into the past and going after everybody. It's enough already.
Hey, you know what? It's working.
Speaking of,
if it ain't broke, why break it?
Speaking of Giants and receivers, hi Richie James. Now I understand you got a concussion, and I'm sorry about that. But how about 2 dropped muffed punts?
Hey Nick, are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
2 dropped punts, 2 costing us the game, giving the Seahawks 10 points.
Richie, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
I hope he's not going to be the one catching the punts and kickoffs anymore.
Hey, you got the Terrell Owens of drops.
But you know what? 6-2. I said that 4-4 was going to be a success. 6-2 is quite the success in my book. So you know what? Good on the Giants. Get healthy. Use this bye week and get healthy. I'm very curious, guys, about this Cooper Kupp injury because I didn't think it didn't seem like too much of a big deal, but everyone's become very concerned that he could potentially miss a week or so.
Ooh, I mean that's a major injury.
That would be devastating for that Rams offense.
I'll tell you right now, if Cooper Kupp is hurt, you might as well wave the red flag on this season.
White flag.
White flag, whatever. White flag, red flag, yellow and blue flag, whatever color you want to wave.
Checkered flag. And Devontae Parker going down with an injury. Chance that maybe he will have to miss a game, and if he misses a game, then who is it at the Patriots wide receiver position now?
Take your choice. It's not very good.
I think it's Jacoby Myers. Yeah, Jacoby Myers. Oh, no. Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne can go into the 2 slot behind Jacoby Myers.
I was going to say, Jacoby Myers, I think, was the one, if I'm not mistaken.
So, but Mac Jones seems to so far be in control of the quarterback situation over there. Let's see how long before they decide to go back to Bailey. I see you, Zap E.
I see you. Zap! That joke's going to live in infamy, too. Ugh.
I said that the Giants were on the bye this week, and guess what, guys? Several teams on the bye this week. The Browns are on the bye after their big win on Monday night. The Cowboys, they're riding off into the sunset. Well, for now, until they come back from the bye. The Steelers are on the bye, and God, do they need it. 49ers on the bye, getting rest for a big second half NFC West battle. And, gentlemen, guess who else is riding on their way into the bye week? Oh, what did I say? Did I say ride?
Oy. Not surprised.
Just don't say the secret word.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
God.
So you know what? Let's now, gentlemen, go to. I don't want to do this because, guys, I've looked at the week ahead.
It's bad.
This is a bad one. This is going to be a very rough one, especially when you consider.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, especially when you consider no Giants, no Cowboys, and no 49ers this week.
It's a crap extravaganza.
The pairings they have given us are not great.
Look
There's
at
less
all
games.
the failure.
There's less games because we have 6 teams on the bye. But regardless, it's football. It's rapid rundown. Let's signal it in. All
Upset
right.
City, I think, dropped off the map this week.
Yeah. Well, we begin this week with the biggest line of the week. So, Eagles versus the Texans. Yes, Houston versus Philadelphia in the World Series and on Thursday Night Football this week. Biggest line of the week. The Eagles are a 14-point favorite on the road.
God, Amazon can't catch a break, can they?
And if you're following the World Series closely, I think this game might end up in the exact same fashion. So,
Oh, wait a minute. Ironically, Philadelphia and wow.
I just said that. Yeah.
you just said that. What, you're not paying attention?
No. Okay. Maybe I wasn't. All right.
So, you know what? Normally I wouldn't take the money, but now I'm definitely taking the money.
Texans are crap. Take the money. Eagles are going to stay unbeaten.
Money.
As I say, even if we don't get the full point, we'll get at least half a point for an easy prediction.
Yeah.
All right. We go to the Sunday games. No international game this week. Next week, week 10, we'll have the final international. No, not the final international game, but the final early morning international game.
Oh, Germany.
In Germany. And then Monday, and then a week or so later, they're gonna have Monday Night Football in Mexico City, which we'll be live for, by the way.
Don't you have a banner for that?
Yes, I was gonna promote it at the end, but since I brought it up here, you know what? Oh no, that's the Halloween one. Oh, because it's in the
I could get it.
folder.
You want me to
I
get-
got it. There we go.
Yeah!
49ers versus the Cardinals on Monday, November 21st, during week. I think it's week 11.
Yeah, it's week 11, I think.
49ers Cardinals live in Mexico City. They'll be live in Mexico City. We'll still be here in New York.
Yeah, we don't have that budget to travel to Mexico City.
But we will be there with you for what could be a pivotal NFC West game.
Wait, well, you mean a game that actually might be more entertaining than Browns Bungles?
Here's hoping.
I don't have any wood to knock on, so I can't.
All right, let's go over the rest. Let's go over the Sunday matchups for this week. Panthers at the Bengals. The Bengals are a 7.5-point favorite. I'm going to show some disrespect, gentlemen. So the Panthers, we know, are shite. Even though they beat the Bucs 21-3, they're shite. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think this will actually be a close game, and the Bengals will not cover.
I will as well, because for a second there you had me, because I thought you were gonna go upset City, but you're not that crazy. So
I'm not that crazy, but
I'm gonna do the same.
I mean, so let's talk about the report. So Baker Mayfield being benched. The XFL quarterback PJ Walker is now the starter for the rest of the season.
XFL, by the way, announced their teams and such.
We did see that. We don't have time for that this week,
know.
but yeah, I'm not that crazy. Panthers still have a lot of issues. They don't have McCaffrey anymore. They somehow kept DJ Moore, which is going to be the worst kept secret.
But I think Jamar Chase not being there hurts.
Yes, but
granted, Higgins and Boyd do very well.
But yeah, I'm going to take them and not cover. They'll win, but I think it's going to be like a close, weird, wild game that comes down to like an onside kick or something.
Probably knowing our luck. Vikings 3.5-point favorite on the road against the Commanders. Gentlemen, I am locking this one in. I am locking Vikings over the Commanders, taking the money.
Yeah, this is. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, the Vikings are the much better team in this case.
That line might be a little too low.
Yeah,
But I'm still going to take the money.
yeah.
All
I think
right.
we're all in agreement there.
Yeah. AFC East battle, Bills and the Jets. The Bills 13 points on the road in MetLife.
Wow. All I could say is 13 points on the road.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think the Jets are still showing some pretty good signs. So you know what? And this is a divisional battle. I'm not going to take the money. I'll go with the Bills, but I'm not taking the money on this one. I think the Jets can cover this.
Me too, because I think the Jets' defense has played well enough to be able to keep them fairly close in games. And 13 minus 13 really does seem like a little bit of disrespect.
Almost two touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not. Yeah. So I'm gonna do like you. I'll take them, but I'm not gonna take that line.
Which Zach Wilson are we going to see? Are we going to, even though he threw for 350 something yards last week, they still lost.
So let me guess. The line is too low. Are you expecting minus 21?
No, I even if the Jets defense plays well, I think they could somehow cover this. So the Bills are going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover either. It's a big line on the road.
Colts and the Patriots in Foxborough. Patriots 5.5-point favorite.
This is a crapshoot because the Patriots, again, if it wasn't for a penalty, I don't think they win last week. I don't know what to think of the Patriots anymore. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the Colts last week, how did they do? I'm sorry, last week. I forget. Colts last week in week 8, they only lost by 1 point to the Commanders. But, I mean, they still lost to the Commanders.
The Colts fired their offensive coordinator?
Yeah, they did. I forgot about that. Yeah, they did. You know what? They're in shambles. Matt Ryan got benched. It's Foxborough. I say take them. I'll go Patriots. I don't know. Do I take the money on this?
I think you probably do take the money.
Okay, I take the money. Yeah, I take the money on this.
And I'm with you. So
quarterbacking this week is going to be Mac Jones and not I see you Zap. So I'm going to take. I'm taking the money.
All right. Can I say one thing though? How did Frank Reich manage to keep his job, but the offensive coordinator lost their job? How?
Because Frank Reich probably said he did it.
Yeah, but who do you think brought in all those coordinators?
Who is responsible for this? As of right now, it's his responsibility.
No, it's I see you, Zep, and I took your job.
Speaking of crapshoot, gentlemen, Raiders and Jaguars, 2 crap teams and a very crap line. Only 1.5 points for the Raiders.
Well, crap plus crap equals crap, but that means I'm going to have to take the line. Take the money.
Hell no. I'm staying away from the Raiders in every way, shape, or form. Jaguars win outright.
Ooh.
You trust the Raiders the way they've been playing lately?
It's not that I don't. It's not that I trust the Raiders. I don't trust the Jags.
Davante Adams had 3 yards last week. Derek Carr had 101 yards.
But he could come back with a vengeance, Nick.
No way. I'm staying away from the Raiders.
Okay. All right. You know what? Let give him his choice. Give him his choice. He's going to have to live with the consequences.
You know what? For the sake of trying to catch up to Nick Morrison in the standings, I'm going to go upset City as well.
Well, we're both taking the same outcome, so
yes.
Yeah.
But if I go against you, this is one I'm not going to take a risk of going up against you. Not these 2 teams.
All right.
Dolphins 5-point favorite against the Bears in Chicago.
This is pretty easy.
Take the money.
Yeah, this is one of the more obvious games of the week. Take the money.
Yeah, take the money.
All right, we're about halfway through, maybe even more so. Neither of you using your lock yet. We go to Detroit. Green Bay travels and is a 3.5-point favorite against the Lions.
By the way, everyone would think this is obvious as a lock. I would not. I would stay far away.
No way am I using my lock on this.
No, I'll go Packers, but
I'm not. You know what?
What?
I'm tired of taking the Packers.
That's the game you're choosing for an upset?
I'm sick and tired of taking the Packers because
I
they
mean,
have
I like the
disappointed me at
Lions'
every single
talent.
turn.
They have to win a game at some point, and it's the Lions.
If the Packers lose to the Lions, gentlemen.
By the way, no TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, that is true. If the Packers lose to the Lions, guys, I don't think they make a postseason.
There's a good chance that Aaron Rodgers might retire on the plane home.
I'll tell you right now, if they lose,
Oh, you thought we were panicking before with the Packers?
You thought
No.
it was bad before.
no, I'm sounding in the alarm again. If they lose, that would be 5 straight, wouldn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm. For the sake of they need to win.
Yeah, the Packers are playing the Lions, and now they're turning into the Lions. Slowly but surely.
Ouch. But yeah, for the sake of they have to win a game, take the money.
All right. We go now. Chargers and the Falcons. The Chargers 3-point favorite coming off the bye week.
See, this one.
This is tricky.
Does anyone realize that the Falcons have actually been competitive all year?
Yeah.
I am hesitant to use my bench lock, but I think I'm going to still take the money.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I want to take the money. I think there might only be a 2-point game. Knowing their luck.
The odds of a 2-point game, though, are not.
All right. I'll take the money. It's Herbert. I like Herbert. I love Herbert.
I mean, the Falcons just made a lot of moves at the trade deadline, right? I mean,
yeah.
Justin Herbert can out quarterback Marcus Mariota. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Utah.
Yeah, take the money.
All right. Seahawks and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a 2-point favorite. I was considering. This was the other one I was considering, and Morganson is going for it.
Well, I'm going the other way, though. I'm not taking the Cardinals. I'm going
You're
upset
going
city on the
Seahawks.
lock.
Yeah, I know.
This-
That was my other thought.
This is the biggest mistake on the Vegas line I've seen yet. How are the Cardinals a 2-point favorite against Seattle?
Well, DeAndre Hopkins has to have that. He can't throw the ball to himself. So how's he gonna get that? So yeah, I'm gonna do what you do. I'm gonna use my bench lock on upset city.
How original.
Kyler Murray, we agree, is going to go 0-2 after the Call of Duty game came out.
Yes. I don't understand. Vegas does some weird things. This is one of them.
Rams and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are a 3-point favorite. I go upset city one more time, gentlemen.
By the way, if this was all healthy, both teams, this would have been an insane
Hell of a
matchup.
game, yes.
But-
Yeah, I'm gonna go upset city too because seriously, what?
Somebody has to win. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, somebody has to win. It's a battle of two. One kind of crap team and one unambiguously crap team.
You know what scares me, though? That Matt Stafford does not look good at
He
all.
doesn't. But at least they have like Cooper. But Cooper Cup's hurt.
Is he playing or is he not?
I no word
It's
yet.
still up in the air as of right now.
As of right now, he's still playing. I think on that alone, you have to go Rams because the Bucs offense just looks decrepit.
It's a tough one. I mean, it's hard to go, as Hank would say on Game On, it's tough to go against Tom Brady, even as decrepit as he is.
Well, in this day and age, we're actually going against Tom Brady. It's shocking to say.
Times
Yeah,
have changed. The future is now, old man.
I think you have no choice. Tom Brady looks like a shell, less than a shell of himself. So, take the Rams.
Sunday Night Football, Titans and Chiefs. The Chiefs 12.5-point favorite at home.
What?
Yeah,
On Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, that sounds about right because to me, this is
Technically, guys, this is first place team versus first place team.
Oh my God.
But when are two first place teams alike but not alike? So
Well, there's only one person getting in the way of the Chiefs losing. A certain running back.
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can't hand the ball off to himself, can he?
Well, he did have 220 yards last week.
Correct.
I'll
But
take
this is still an easy choice of
I don't know if I'm
Chiefs.
going to take that line. I think that line is a little.
The line is huge.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go Chiefs no cover. I'm going to do the same as Nick
Yeah.
Federa. Chiefs no cover.
I'm struggling because the Chiefs' offense can be really good one week, and then you have Patrick Mahomes who throws a dumb pick to lose against the Bills.
Or the defense lets up so many points.
Well, what did I say last week? It's the Chiefs' defense versus the Chiefs' offense.
Yep.
Who's going to outscore the other? You know what? I think the Chiefs are going to be more aggressive this week. I am actually going to take the money.
Okay. And now, Monday Night Football. Probably by default the best game of this week. The Ravens and the Saints in New Orleans, with the Ravens a 2.5-point favorite.
This is bad.
Andy Dalton, again, I've said it before last week, it looks much better of a leader of the system than Jameis Winston. Kamara actually had a pretty decent week last week. He actually has had some decent weeks, even if he doesn't get into the end zone, because I think last week he got his first touchdown all season. But Lamar is going to Lamar. Take the money.
Take the money.
This is bad. I mean, the Ravens have had their struggles too. Lamar has had his struggles. Now, it'll be interesting to see once free agency hits where all the money goes with him. But I guess, I mean, if I have to pick the lesser of two evils, I'm going to take the Ravens.
And that is going to do it for the rapid rundown.
Holy shit. We beat under 2 hours? Look at that.
Thank
It's a new
God.
land speed record.
Thank God. I love you guys, but thank God.
Holy shit.
For the sake of my tiredness and sanity.
I mean, there's only so much sports bullshit you can take, but if you're going to bullshit about sports, bullshit with us. We're empty the bench.
I guess the World Series being taken out actually helped.
Yeah. The World Series will be over by the time we get to you next week with episode 160. So episode 160, we'll talk World Series. Hopefully some of this NBA madness dies down. Of course, we'll have more NFL talk, as we always do. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified for everything here on the Empty the Bench Network, from us to Beyond the Bench, Game On, MMA Outsiders, Fruity Cereal,
And more.
And more, including the newest show, which we talked about on the stream last night. 5 more minutes, Mom.
Yep. There's a lot coming. So ring the bell!
Make sure to follow us at ETB Network and at ETB Sports on social media. You saw on the scroll before all our different social medias that you can find us at. And yeah, that's going to do it. Episode 160 next week.
Holy crap, 160 episodes.
And we're officially in November, so we're on the homeward stretch to the end of another podcasting
Wait,
year.
does that mean no shave November?
No, it doesn't. It also doesn't mean the other thing you shouldn't do in November.
I was going to say, yeah, there's another thing, no something November.
But we're hoping that you spend November with us, so that's pretty much going to do.
I mean, there's a lot coming up. We have best ofs coming up at the end of the year, just letting everybody know the last 2 weeks. We usually take off. We'll still do the picks. Everything still comes. We have to give you our miserable football picks, even if they fail from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, actually, we had a good last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We did.
Well, don't say that, because now we're going to have a crap week.
Damn it. I have no wood to knock on. Ugh. Damn it.
Breaking news. Aaron Rodgers cast a spell wrong and turned into a Canadian mallard.
RELAX.
Quack, 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 quack.
But if
Okay.
he has web feet, how can he count his toes?
One. Wait, is it all 1 foot? I don't know.
No, it's quack, quack,
Quack, quack,
quack. All right.
I guess you could say they're all in a pack.
Oh, God.
All right, just end the episode.
For Nick Federa and Nick Morganson, I'm Tom Albano. And I'd like to end, gentlemen, by reminding you of one thing. As we get ready for episode 160 of Empty the Bench, I'd like to say, Broncos country, let's ride. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody!
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.